Okay, now this one's going to really get people livid. I love doing these because people just aren't thinking. See, they're not thinking normally. They think out of a reaction, and they don't have any clear understanding of economics. And economics is very simple. It's called supply and demand, and I did a video on supply and demand. If you watch the video on supply and demand, you get a picture of how economics works. Okay, there's a profit, and there's a loss, there's a cost, and a demand. Okay, so let's take issue 2, for example, and really make a big stretch, because the liberals and the left and the Democrats, they always want to tax smoking. Okay? They always want to tax smoking. Let's tax smoking more and more, and we'll get more revenue. Okay? Let me show you, and this is proven in every state that keeps raising taxes on smoking. All right, so let's just take an example. That state A is doing $1,000, and you can say that $1 million in tobacco sales. And they're generating, at 10% tax, sales tax, they're generating $100 per $1,000, okay? And so some politician has this grant, well, let's just double that tax. We'll do it to 20%, and we'll still do the $1 million in sales. And we'll get $200 per $1,000. But see, they don't ever understand that taxes has an effect on people's spending. Okay? So what actually happens, which has happened in a lot of states, because a lot of the people buy their cigarettes at the underground market. Okay? So in reality, what happens is, yeah, they were doing $1,000 per million, or $1 million. I'm just bringing it down to small numbers. At 10% tax, they're generating $100. What really happened after that 20% increase was their sales went down to $5,000 or $500. Yeah, they increased the tax by doubling it. But look at that. They still brought in the same amount of money. I wonder why that is. Well, you know what? It's called trickle-down economics. See, if the rich, and then you have the middle class, the rich and the middle class, and then you have the poor. The rich is what gives these guys jobs. Believe it or not. I mean, that's the fact of the matter is. So if a rich guy wants to buy a brand new yacht, okay, it's going to be steel workers that are going to build that boat. And it's going to be store owners, maybe small mom and pop store owners or Mickey D's, where the poor are going to, the steel workers are going to go in for lunch. And that's called trickle-down economics, basically. Okay, the rich wants to buy something, the middle class has to make it, and then the poor are helping the middle class. But everybody can go up this ladder, okay? See, the fact of the matter is, nobody understands history, because history is not taught in America anymore. Let me give you 2 examples. Thomas Alva Edison. The man was nearly bankrupt. But he created everything that we do nowadays. The telephone. Helped to improve the telephone. Movie industry. Light bulbs. I could list you hundreds of technologies that came from Thomas Alva Edison. Steve Jobs. Bill Gates. Steven Spielberg. I mean, I could keep going on if you want. It's the rich that help the poor. And so, basically, smoking free was just an example of, by increasing taxes is the key word. How do you get more taxes? How do you get more money? It is called spend and buying. If I have more to spend, I'm going to buy more. I mean, it's as simple as that. Where do the taxes come from? The taxes come from the private sector. That's where it originates from, the private sectors. That's where everything comes from the private sector. Governments can't create a job. Can't create a single job. Oh yeah, well, what about building roads and everything and doing all that kind of stuff? Yeah, they build roads. Yeah, everybody builds roads. Where does the money come from to build the roads? Taxes. Where does those taxes come from? The private sector. The private sector. It's that simple.